Well, hello everybody. I wanted to pick up tonight where I left off last night, and that was with the phony smile. There was a song back in the day, "Smiling Faces Tell Lies," and on and on. You know, Google it. Smiling Faces. I've been having a problem with the resolution. I think it's the resolution. I've been having a problem with the audio syncing up with the video. I did some research, and it might be that I'm trying to shoot it in high definition, and that's too fast or something for YouTube, where I'm having most of the problems. I'd like to continue now with a joke. I'll also say welcome again to another exciting edition of Bob TV. Hat of the day: Boise State Broncos. Boise State is a school out of Idaho whose football team has had tremendous success over the past 5 or 10 years. They play in a smaller conference, so they can't get into the championship game. The bigger conferences, there's a lot of money that goes to the conferences whose teams are in the championship game. This year, the BCS championship game had 2 teams from the same conference. So if there's not politics involved, then if anyone would say that there aren't politics involved, then there definitely is politics involved in that. Anyway, Boise State, they say Boise State can't play in the championship game because they never play anybody tough. First game of the season, they played the team that ended up being the champion of the SEC East Division, Georgia, and they handed their ass to them. Their Achilles heel is that they are their worst, their own worst enemies. Just like Bob. The last 2 years, they lost games in the final moments of the game, games that got away from them that shouldn't have got away from them, so they didn't get into the championship game. But people say they don't play anybody tough, and I always say, you know why that is? Because nobody tough wants to play them. Who'd want to lose to Boise State? If you Google Boise State, you'll see they play on a blue football field. I have not researched that yet. I cannot tell you why. Let me tell you a joke now. I have a group on Facebook to which I have added members, but nobody has contributed to my group except for me. One thing I'm looking for is jokes. Your best joke. The weather by your house would be good. Right now it's about 35 degrees outside. No precipitation. Tomorrow's supposed to be up around 50. So this has been a very unusually mild winter. But it's far from over. I know that in another week it could be 20 below zero and the snow could be up to my ass. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. It is definitely possible that could happen. So a man wins a man in Rhode Island won the $310 Powerball drawing. He calls his wife. He says, "Honey, pack your bags. I won the $300 million in the Powerball." She says, "You won the Powerball. That's great. Where are we going?" He says, "We're not going anywhere. I want you out of the house before I get home." Sounds like it's an anti-woman joke, but you could obviously, if you're a woman, you could tell it the other way. I saw a cartoon on the Facebook, a lady saying, "If you were my husband, I'd poison your coffee," and the man said, "If you were my wife, I'd drink it." So getting back to I go off on tangents periodically, but getting back to the group thing, it's Friends of Bob. We're looking for quotes, good quotes. You know my quote, "You can't con an honest man," by W.C. Fields back in the 30s. That's who it's attributed to, but that's such a good quote. It's hard to believe that somebody else didn't coin that long before W.C. Fields did. Looking for jokes, looking for weather by your house, photos, anything that interests you. You contribute to the group. And again, the group is Friends of Bob on Facebook. So not really too much going on today. Last night I had a problem with my and the problems that are created by other people for me are endless. My internet went down, and I could not figure out what it was. I thought it was something with my mother's computer. I have of course I'm here back in Illinois taking care of my nearly senile elderly parents who are driving me fucking crazy. So I have a wireless modem attached to her modem, and I have an adapter in here, and everything works pretty well. The only problem that I had was when I tried to make it a secure connection, and her computer was so fucked up with 5,000 files and 30 malicious softwares that were attached to it I had to call a guy in India. He went online and straightened it out. And her computer was so slow. It was just like painfully slow. Then it worked like a regular computer. So anyway, everything went well, except for the problem when I tried to make it secure. Now it's secure, so it's good. So last night the internet goes out. I can't figure out what it is. I think it's her computer. I go in there. There's something flashing on the bottom about the software for her printer that she bought 3 or 4 years ago and just hooked up last week. Spent $300 or $400 for a nice Hewlett-Packard printer that you can scan and fax with, and just like I said, hooked it up last week. So anyway, I go in there. I can't figure it out. It says can't get the internet on her computer. So I come back here. I shut down. I go to sleep early and get up early for me about 12:30 in the afternoon, a half hour before the alarm clock was set to go off. And I get online. Everything's good. Then all of a sudden, it's not working again. So I go. Actually, what happened was I went to try to rectify her software problem, and then I couldn't get online in there, and I couldn't get online in here. So I call AT&T, and they say, well, check to be sure that everything is plugged in correctly. And I had unplugged the modem's power supply and plugged it back in and restarted the computer. And they said, if you're still having problems, call us back. So I called back. I'm talking to an automated guy. He was pretty smart, though. He says, you know, we've checked all this out, and it sure seems like the problem is at your end. We think that something is not connected properly. And I turned around, and last night my mother, senile, driving me fucking crazy, had unplugged the connection to for the DSL line. Was unplugged. It was laying on the floor. Apparently last night I was picking up somebody else's Wi-Fi signal, and that's how I was getting through. So right now, the next issue that I'm going to raise with her is I have a nice hat I want to wear it as hat of the day. It's a knit stocking cap. It's black. LA on the front of it in white. I bought one and sent it to my father, which he never wore it. He's like a little old lady, basically. That's a nice way to say it. Anyway, never wore it. It's too tight. It hurts my head. Here's a guy who can't eat toast because it hurts his mouth, and he doesn't like meat that's not filled with fat because it's not tender enough. And let me tell you, fat is tender. If you want to eat tender, eat fat. Anyway, he never wore the hat. I had been wearing it, and I had both of those LA knit stocking caps in my car and another black one. I brought them in to wash them. Now they've disappeared. I can't find them anywhere. But I'll bet anybody who wants to take my bet $5 that my mother picked them up and she has them stashed somewhere in my father's collection of clothing that he never wears. So anyway, it's the 22nd of February. This is Bob TV, shot at a lower resolution, seeing if we can rectify the sync problems between the audio and the video. It's going to go straight up on YouTube, and then right after that I'll put it up on, it's going to go straight onto Facebook, and then I'll try to put it up on YouTube, where my channel is THEREAL, The Real Bob TV. I'm thinking about changing it to Worldwide Church of Bob, and doing a religious broadcast, so stay tuned for that those thrills and that excitement. Thank you again for tuning in, and let me do what I said I was going to do last night at the close of every show and give you that big phony smile that I've seen so many people giving. Remember that smiling faces tell lies, and I'll have to get some more of the lines for tomorrow's show. But anyway, have a blessed good evening, and remember that whether you believe in God or not, and whether you believe that science has proven that God doesn't exist, you are a child of the Most High God. All right then?